Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. Your local armory. Now, this is a thought I had when I was working at I worked in a restaurant. I worked night shift at a restaurant that used to be open around where I live, and there was a the owner was very lenient as to the things he was okay, he was okay with me doing. He figured, he trusted me to watch the place at night, and I didn't want anything to happen while I was there. So what I would do is I would bring my Winchester 1897 to work, and he knew about it. The manager knew. The manager, she really liked it that much, but the owner knew. He was cool with it. It was a conversation piece with some of the customers. That's if they saw it, they asked me about it. And after that, then I used to carry my 1911 to work. And then I would still carry the Winchester to work, but after I carried the 1911 long enough, I left the shotgun at the house. I also learned of some other places where you have places where they're not gun oriented, but there were still guns inside to help keep the place secure. And I was thinking, going back, I guess a long time ago, there were every area had an armory, and there was a place where people can go to. Let's say they were too poor to own a weapon, and so they would go to this armory where it can be checked out. It was provided for by I guess by the local government. And I guess should it be a time of emergency, they could it can go to this armory and get guns and powder and ball. I know with militias, it was militia. Well, if you're part of a militia, you would actually supply your own weapon, your own ammunition, your own gear. And if you were too poor to provide for your own, there was some that that was actually lended out to you. And of course, it was collected. It would have to be collected back at the end to put back in the armory's, in the armory's locker. But it got me thinking. This idea I had. Do you think that every local government should have a local armory? And if not, like a central armory, but you think it's a good idea for just stores, just ordinary stores that had an arms locker. It's also tied into with the thing about school shootings. I was talking with some friends, and I suggested that if not in a central area in the school, but maybe every classroom there would be a gun locker, and that would be accessible to the teacher of that classroom. And should something happen, the teacher can lock the door of the classroom, and go to the arms lock, go to their gun locker, get get whatever was in there, whether it be a carbine or a shotgun, or maybe even a handgun, and get that out, and then stand guard at the door to protect the children inside. I want the same thing can be done with stores. Stores will have a locker where they keep maybe one or two long guns, and maybe maybe one or three handguns inside, just in case a situation arises where those tools will be needed. I remember watching a video about a week ago, and also several years ago, which was what got me into the topic of gun control. And it was a video about the LA riots, and you saw. I know a lot of you must be aware of what was going on. It was a riot over a verdict in the Rodney King case, and then people were destroying their own neighborhood, and their stores being looted, places being burned. Reginald Dennings getting yanked out of his truck and beat with a cinder block. Cars are getting wrecked. But I remember seeing a video where you had an area where it was Koreatown, and you had a lot of a lot of those who were Korean descent. They stood guard at their stores. They protected the neighborhoods. I remember seeing one video where they had their cars they had these cars, parked row by row with the doors open, just to make like a makeshift barrier, and it blocked the entrance to the store. Of course, they had shopping carts and trash cans piled in front of the front door, but then they had these cars with the lights on, so they can go. So when nighttime hit, they let their cars run and have the lights on, so they can see what's going on at night, because it was nuts. It was sick. It was burnt. Square blocks were getting burned down, and just mass looting. I remember seeing one video. This is I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there in the gun community seen this. There was one Korean, or two Korean guys. One noticeably, he ran out. He was in a parking area, and he ran towards the parking area. He had a Beretta in his hand, and he was firing back. He had a vest on, and he has like a white vest on. He was shooting back at cars. He was shooting back at this car. Apparently, it was gang members that were trying to loot their store. And there was another guy. There was another gentleman, another Korean gentleman who was wearing looked like to be like he had a white jacket on, and I can tell it was a Glock. He was shooting. They were basically protecting what they had. Now I'm not saying that that I don't know riots they don't rarely happen, but should something like that ever happen, or if something occurred where a long gun or some handguns may be needed, and it's like in maybe a financial or a restaurant area, or a place where some businesses, may not be a bad idea for those businesses to actually have an arms locker. If there is no centralized armory within that municipality, maybe better if every store had like I said, a couple of long guns, like a couple of shotguns or rifles, and some handguns, and also enough ammunition to supply to the people who are actually going to be using these tools. But as my thought, I think it'd be a good idea for there to be armories within our neighborhood, not just at our home, but out where there are businesses, because businesses are vulnerable to attacks from anybody for whatever they had in their mind, whatever malice they had in their heart. But I think it's a good idea. Turn these places into somewhat, not necessarily a fortress, but fortified. I guess it would make it a fortress in a sense, but just something to be able to provide defense until better help can arrive. But that's my video. Please, you got any suggestions? Of any places that do this already? I know that a lot of pretty much if it's a gun store, everybody around there is gonna be from the places I've been to, like PSA, a Shooter's Choice. The guys there, they carry guns. But do you know of any places like that within your area? They may not be gun related, but restaurants or financial industries, things like that. I'd like to see your suggestions, ideas, things that you witness. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. If you have any gripes or complaints, leave them in the comment section, direct them to me. And just please be respectful to everyone else who's watching this video. But that's my video. Your local armory. I'm reading off a list here, trying to get some ideas done, put on camera. But that's my video. The local armory. I'm Edward Jones. And thanks for watching.